The relationship between Canada and the US is similar to two people living in an apartment building. When the downstairs neighbor, the US, say, gets a new dog that barks all night, and when you get mad at it, the owners go, "Oh, it's just trolling, you can't take a joke." Or, say, imposes tariffs on using the elevator or stairs. Can you do that? Then the upstairs neighbor, Canada, is affected and has to live with it. And so, Canada went to the polls with this in mind late last month, with probably the biggest issue on the ballot being dealing with the noisy new downstairs neighbors. And so, as your favorite Canadian YouTube ambassador, second favorite? Surely not third. I thought I might give you my perspective of our election that, yes, was won by the Liberals, but not that true dope guy anymore. A guy named Mark Carney is our new Prime Minister, which, as an old Carney myself, let me just say, congrats me as arc. Anyway, I thought maybe Americans, the largest part of my audience, might not care, but some sure did. R.I.P. Canada, said Libs of TikTok upon hearing the news that the Libs won, broadcasting that to 10 million people, 95,000 likes. Canada is done, said former Hercules actor Kevin Sorbo. You might say he was disappointed! Florida journalist Eric Doherty says, siren emoji just in. Trump derangement syndrome is thriving among boomers in Canada. The top issue for all boomer voters in Canada is Trump. Canada relationship with U.S. at 43%. This is the issue favoring liberals. Gen Z voters? It's fifth, just 18%. Yeah, Americans had some mild interest in this election. And sure, a large portion of Canadians are concerned about our relationship breaking down with the U.S. because, yeah, we need you. Is that what you needed to hear? We need each other, really, but I know America's big and tough and has everything it needs. It's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. But anyway, let me tell you about some of the funnier moments, how this is actually the outcome your leader wanted, and about how, America, if your goal is to make other countries more like you won this election more than you could know. Our election started very similar to the US election. The incredibly unpopular Liberal leader, Justin Trudeau, stepped down after one last nice vacation on the taxpayers to give his party a chance of winning. Similar to how Biden, let's say, graciously and of his own free will, handed the reins over to Kamala for the Democratic Party. Trudy had been Prime Minister for nearly 10 years. Take it from me, after that, people start getting sick of ya. But the Conservative Party was considered a lock to win. Until, basically, the stock market dip in April. Every time Trump opened his mouth about new tariffs, the markets got worse and worse, only coming back up when he'd say, "Psych, now I'm not doing them." And that scared the Canadians who equate US conservatives with Canadian conservatives. Which, I told you in a video before, our conservatives are basically American Democrats. They don't support any regulation of abortion, they believe in gun control programs with mandated certification screening systems and safety training, and they support universal health care, including the government paying for palliative care. They're not Republicans in any way. But older Canadians who saw their retirement savings dip about 20% in 2 months while Trump played art of the deal with every country in the world went, "Well, fuck this. If this is what conservatives do, I don't want them. That's my cruise money." Around the same time, they aired this ad.
How's your son David?
Well, it's been a tough few years for him. He just can't seem to get ahead.
Yeah, we had to pay for Sarah's down payment last year. Things are tough for her too.
You know what Mark Carney says.
Come on, do you really think that a fourth Liberal term is going to change anything?
You know, I've been thinking the same thing.
Are we really going to give these clowns a fourth term?
Man, I don't get why younger people didn't vote conservative. I had to help my kids buy a house. The conservatives will let me keep more of my money so I can go golfing more often. I guess that's the base, though. But the Liberals' entire campaign seemed to be, let the conservatives keep talking until they beat themselves. Which, old Pierre beat himself raw. Frustrating fiscal conservatives who don't want Trump-style politics, he started pulling from Donnie's nickname playbook. calling Mark Sneaky Mark Carney and Carbon Tax Carney. Kind of weak nicknames. Then, he bases the meat of his platform around said carbon tax. This is a thing in Canada where basically consumers were paying a tax on gas, because that'll save the environment, paying more to get to work. So, get this. Carney goes, good idea, and gets rid of it. Pierre's biggest campaign promise, the thing he had written on shirts, axe the tax, fulfilled by the Liberals. And you know what it ends up doing? Saving people about 20 cents a liter, a little under 80 cents a gallon, maybe $8 on a $55 fill-up here. Demonstrating that Pierre's entire fucking platform was saving people maybe $8 a week. Oh, I'll be able to afford that house in no time. No need for Golf and Granddad to buy it for me now. So then they start calling him Copycat Carney. Ooh, sick burn. Can you believe this idiot is doing the thing I wanted to do? If the Liberals are willing to copy a conservative policy, it can't be that conservative. Then, he turns the Canadian Trump supporters against him by tweeting, on Election Day, President Trump, stay out of our election. The only people who will decide the future of Canada are Canadians at the ballot box. Canada will always be proud, sovereign, and independent, and we will never be the 51st state. And you know why he said this? Because a few weeks before, Trump was on Fox News and said,
the conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal, actually, with a liberal.
So, a vote for the Liberals gives Trump what he wants, which in turn, I guess, gives those conservatives what they want. The Liberals almost managed to fumble the win being handed to them, though. They plant people at conservative rallies to sneak in stop the steal buttons to make the conservatives look like conspiracy theorists who believe that elections are rigged. Which, all it did was proved one conspiracy right, that the Liberals use plants at rallies to try and make conservatives look crazy. Now they can say, see, it was Liberals who pissed on statues and waved Confederate flags during the Freedom Convoy, not us. They used plants. And what's anyone gonna say? Should have been an easy spin for Pierre, but he was too busy going, how can we win the golfing dad demographic? Anyway, want to see the only liberal ad I was ever shown on social media? Here it is, a picture of a dog wearing a propeller hat that says, don't get distracted. Election day is April 28th. Even if you're busy chasing squirrels or cats, take a moment and vote. The conservatives are like, the Liberals will bleed you dry, and your kids won't be able to afford to live in this country. Is that the Canada you want? And the Liberals went, like doggo? Vote us, please. How did they win? Well, that's perhaps the question that Clown World, a rage bait account that will write any unresearched garbage in an attempt to never get a real job, is asking. Did Canadians really vote for this? Or did the machines decide again? Let me walk you through Canada's voting process super quick. First off, you need to be a registered voter, which requires you to be 18, a Canadian citizen, and have ID. You go to the polls with your voter registration card. When you get to the desk, they have a big old printout of everyone registered in that riding, the area you're allowed to vote in. You have to show your registration card and your ID. Then they physically cross you off the list in front of you. You can see it. Then give you your paper ballot. After you've marked it, it goes into a cardboard box. These boxes are then hand-counted in front of representatives of all the parties on election night. No machines. This is, in fact, the exact system some Americans feel that the U.S. should have in order to make sure elections are fair. The machines didn't decide anything. People did, or better or worse. And the people had already decided 2 weeks before the election. 7 million people voted at advance polls, not by mail. Don't let the rage baiters tell you that dumb shit. Actual physical voting booths you had to go to. Did the exact same process I just said. That's 25% of all registered voters before the Conservatives had even released their campaign promises. A quarter of Canadians voted before even knowing what they were voting for or against. Another way we become Americans. We aren't voting for policies. This is team sports. Might as well get the election sponsored by DraftKings. But I miss our old friendship, America. I missed when we could just laugh at each other. Canada would make fun of your gun violence problems, and you'd call us freedom-hating pussies who once put an airsoft gun on a ban list. We make fun of your healthcare system bankrupting people if they get sick or have a heart attack. You shit on us for being forced to wait 9 months to see a specialist. We call you a nation of fatzos while blatantly ignoring the fact that our obesity rates are pretty close to the same, and we become such gluttonous consumers that we need to build a McDonald's less than 1,500 feet away from another McDonald's. How can we hate each other when we are the same? No, I liked our old arrangement where you gave us all your superior entertainment and we'd give you our good wood. Wait, that came out wrong. Good wood. Tame. But anyway, whether we're neighbors or roommates, let's just get along. Imagine a world where you had better access to ketchup chips, we got a fucking Carl's Jr., and we all remembered that we both hate the French more than we hate each other. Dig up Louis Armstrong, because I'm seeing trees of fucking green, ready to be turned into products for us to consume together. What a wonderful world.